Hi, I'm Johnny Marques, and welcome to the All Knowing Podcast. We all have people we admire, heroes, people we look up to, people we try to emulate. At the All Knowing, we look into people's personalities by using different systems such as numerology, astrology, and life charts. A deep dive in a persona, if you will. It is our hope that we can help break down what makes a person, who they are, their traits, their actions, and their possible beliefs. And in doing so, help you understand if you have similar virtues. If you like the show, don't forget to push like. Or if you have someone that you want us to do a life chart on, please leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching and enjoy the show. Hey there, welcome back to the All Knowing. Today we are going to look into Kylie Jenner. She is the youngest daughter of Caitlyn Jenner. She is the third most followed personality on Instagram. She, in 2014 and 15, was the most influential teen on the planet. Youngest person on Forbes list. She also created a makeup company, many other businesses. She's apparently worth $1 billion. And what we're trying to do today is find out if she is a real person or she's just the brand. So let's go over to Joseph and see what he thinks. Hey, Joseph.
Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Great intro. I love your angle. Is she a real person or just a brand? Well, maybe both. We'll explore that. Number one, she's a Leo, which is kind of the sign famous for being famous. You got Jackie O, you got Lucille Ball, you got Donald Trump, Leo rising.
Do you have the birth date and all that info?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I did know she was a Leo, but what is her exact birth date, please?
I don't have that with me. I'm wondering, do you have that in front of you?
I can look that up. Let me take a look here. Yeah, August 10th, 1997. In other words, year of the ox, and 5:25 p.m. Capricorn rising. Okay. Fire ox. The ox is very down to earth. But she's kind of a cross between like some evanescent, angelic, perfect woman that all women want to be, because she's like chiseled out of stone. She's got Capricorn rising, which is kind of serious, and it's often related to celebrities and big stars because they're tough, like a mountain goat that can climb to the top of the mountain. In fact, we just did a reading on Cristiano Ronaldo, the great soccer star, who has Capricorn rising, real tough. And they both have Neptune and Capricorn rising. In fact, you look at the two of them, you look at Kylie Jenner and you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, they have the same face, which is interesting because they're both beautiful as a man and as a woman, but they both have really strong cheekbones, which is the giveaway on Capricorn, like Faye Dunaway, Ava Gardner. And yet they have smaller features, smaller noses and smaller eyes. And but they got strong bone structure. And so, but they're also kind of very serious, competitive, and achievement oriented. Capricorn is like Scrooge McDuck. They always want to get to the top. So even though Kylie is technically a Leo, once again, Jackie O, who is the wife, of course, of John F. Kennedy, and a famous celebrity. I think she had her own perfume line or cosmetics or something, or fashion. She was very fashionable. Leos are very classy at their best, particularly when they have Capricorn rising. And she also has Moon and Scorpio, Kylie. So in the 10th house of career. So she's like a sex symbol, basically. She's what every woman wants to be and every man wants to have. but she's very aloof in her persona. Leo is kind of fun and warm-hearted and accessible, like Lucille Ball, but Capricorn is tough. J. Edgar Hoover, Al Capone, Richard Nixon, Joseph Stalin, Howard Hughes, tough. Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman. They're fighters. They're a little shy or quiet, though. They're not so much like boastful like Leos can be. But this lady is a introvert. She also has Dark Moon Lilith in the 12th house of secrecy. And so she's an introvert. She is basically really a brand on the surface, but inside she's a sensitive, even shy, slightly human being. She's been built up into a superstar. So of course she acts haughty. The way they film her, she's haughty and aloof. And that's what most women really want to be. Not necessarily most, but a lot of women. They want to look rich. They want to get a successful husband. Can't blame them a bit. But they want to be classy. And she exudes classiness. And there's two kind of people. A great book is called, what's it called again? The Givers and the Takers by Chris Evett, E-V-A-T-T. Takers are sexier than givers. Takers lean back, they're aloof, they're self-confident, they go to the gym or the beauty salon, they work on themselves, they ask for what they want. If they get it, cool. If not, they bail. And givers are the opposite. Givers are like Peter Falk or, like your aunt. Can I help you? Can I give to you? Can I help? Can I teach you something? Can I change your life? Can I, be your footstool?
You know my aunt.
And givers and takers always attract each other. You always find the person who offers the kiss and who offers the cheek, and as the French say. And so, you want to learn, are you a giver? Then you need to learn to be a little more of a taker. In other words, don't be a doormat, be a diplomat. If you're a taker, you got to learn to be a little more giver. You got to help people a little bit. You got to spread the wealth a little bit. Otherwise, takers become too self-absorbed and they become off on a pedestal and they become lonely and bored, in their ivory tower, and they feel guilty because they don't really know how to give, which is the greatest pleasure there is in life. And the giver has to learn to take, or they're going to be taken advantage of, which is their chronic problem. So at any rate, this lady, her brand is taker. She's a haughty, successful businesswoman worth $1 billion. Was worth made $41 million in 2016 alone. That was 6 years ago when she was still kind of a kid, and so she is hard to get. Hard to get is sexier than easy to get. You may worship me, you lucky love slave, is kind of the attitude. Rather than, can I help you? Can I give you what you want in bed or out of bed? Takers are more like, you may worship me. And so at any rate, she exudes a quality of wealth. And she's très hip. She's had affairs, not necessarily affairs, marriages, close relationships with all the rappers. She's co-branded with a lot of the rappers, Living and Dead, Notorious B.I.G., Tupac Shakur, she knows where the money is. All the Kardashians do. I'm inclined to call them the cold Kardashians because they're really all about the money and yo money. And so you got to have money to make money. All the players always told me that. You got to have money to make money, or you got to look like you have money. This woman, Kylie Jenner, she could parachute into a desert island, and in no time at all, she'd be selling the natives her designer hula skirts. She could have been born in a slum, and she still own half of this country.
Do you think that that's of her doing, or do you think that's the family influence? I mean, what does she have? What is her sign? What does she have to do with her success or successes?
Well, she's a combination of energies, like, most really great successes. She's got the charm and smile and the full-bodiedness and the little girl quality that is accessible. That's Leo, a lot of that. Like Jackie O had that.
Right.
Mae West was the lion Leo. The kitten Leo is Lucille Ball. You ever notice Leos are a lot of fun? They're
Right.
like, look.
You know what's funny? You mentioned Jackie O, and just in my mind, seeing Jackie O and her energy, it's a very similar energy.
Yeah.
It's like they're out there, they dress well, they give that little sexy smile, and just very alluring. So yeah, you nailed it right there.
Yeah, she's the new Jackie O.
Wow.
And kitten and lion and ringmaster, which is the highest level of Leo, which is the team leader rather than just the individual egomaniac.
Kylie, you hear that? You're the new Jackie O. So if you're watching, you should start molding yourself. Maybe start going out with politicians, huh?
Well, you notice Leos always have trademarks. Like Jackie O had the pillbox hat, which was kind of like a pillbox. And Fidel Castro had a cigar. Alfred Hitchcock had his profile on his TV show. Napoleon Bonaparte had his hand in his vest. They always have a trademark. Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, the biceps and his German accent. It's all, and Hulk Hogan, similar. They're like bigger than life. Mae West, the padded shoulders. It's not the men in my life, it's the life of my men. So that's the lioness. So she's cute as a kitten, strong as a lion, and wise as a ringmaster because she's corporate. I'm not sure how much decision making she herself makes beyond the most important one, which is taste. She knows what's hot and what's not. And that's really the key. And there's a lot of Leos who have been very successful in fashion. I seem to recall Coco Chanel, Rudy Gernrich.
You bring up a good point. Like, it makes me wonder, and I've always wondered, and I don't know if you could touch on it, or maybe this is part of the reason why we're doing the show, but how much of the Kardashians are themselves and how much is probably, a marketed creation by mom, because their mom seems to be a dynamo. Like she seems to be the backbone of the whole brand, the whole name. I mean, even in the future, it might be interesting to do a profile on her, but it's always made me wonder. It's like, are these daughters just showing up and being present, and the image has already been created? I mean, one thing I do notice, I mean, I'm not huge on them, but that they have the brother, and he's kind of bowed out. He's kind of just like, I mean, I don't follow them, but it seems it's like all the sisters, they're all game. They show up when they're told to, and they have this representation and this image about them. And going back to that, is that something that's created, or is that something that is pure? I mean, especially with Kylie Jenner, I mean, is that something, I mean, as a personality, the sign, do they allow that to happen? Are they creators of their own destiny? Are they more agreeable? What's going on there?
Well, that's the whole point to looking at them are they real or are they just a brand, as you ably framed this whole reading today? Um, I would say, Kylie reminds me of Pinocchio. I mean, she's a puppet that got turned into a real human being. Capricorn rising, by the way, is born old, gets younger in reverse. She was groomed pretty much from childhood to be a mannequin for the money, a mannequin, if I may coin a phrase. And, and
A mannequin. There you go. They're going to steal that terminology. Look out, Wikipedia.
Yeah, I invented that. That's copyright.
There you go. Yeah, you got claim to that. Okay.
I got Leo rising too, so don't mess with me, all right? At any rate, so she, and all of them, you could ask a bigger question there, Johnny. Is America real or is it just about the money? Okay, because America is what we call a 3 in Enneagrams. That's like Jerry Maguire, classic 3. They're the workaholic, achievement-oriented, soulless automaton that wants to be successful no matter who they got to step on to get to the top. Okay, that's a little bit negative, perhaps. But they're achievement-oriented people. And so you ever know people that are just, like a Hollywood agent, or a Jerry Maguire would slit your throat for a boost up, like that guy in Jerry Maguire that stole his clients. Remember, that's a classic negative. Yeah. America's a 3. America is all about achievement and status. Everybody wants to be rich in America, the land of dreams. And so they're all American. That's why everybody loves them, because they want to be like them. They may not even like them, but they want to be like them. They want to exude wealth and quality. That's why Kylie Jenner is a merchandising totem of or icon. She's promoted everything: lip gloss, T-shirts, accessories. I mean, what does a successful woman want to look like and be like in America? She wants to look like and be like Kylie Jenner. And you look at her with her Capricorn rising and her kind of lacquered hair and her, perfect makeup and her kind of a little bit robotic blank stare, frankly. It's kind of like, I'm here. It's kind of like a
right.
Zoolander, that movie with
yeah.
What was his name?
Do you think, Ben Stiller, do you think that everything that you just spoke about, you think that's a positive thing for society? Or do you think this is the new way of doing things? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, going forward,
well,
where do you see this family?
Well, it's I mean, if you ask me that, because I believe, I like my clients. I just want them to be happy and successful, whatever their trip is, as long as it's moral and helps humanity. So do they help humanity, or do they turn it into a crass commodity? Are they just peddling crass commodities which cheapen the human value of life? A lot of people, particularly those who are not necessarily as attractive as Kylie, might say, oh, she's plastic, she's a robot, she's cold and materialistic. Excuse me a second. I just popped my tooth. Sorry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A lot of people, for example, might say that Kylie is robotic, plastic, cold, that she cheapens the value of humanity by commoditizing us, turning us into objects. So what if you don't have designer clothes? Are you still a human being? Do you still deserve love and compassion? Are you still creative and interesting? I mean, the ones who have the hippie fashions or other kind of like more spontaneous fashions might not like at all where she's coming from, because it's really straight and square in some ways, but it's square hip. It's hip square. It's the rapper from the ghetto who wears $300 or $3,000 tennis shoes. So I mean, it's classy. If you want to get ahead, if you want to make money in America, emulate the Kardashians if you're a woman, because your style will stand out. Her mother is, of course, the least attractive of all of them. And she's therefore the smartest and the most realistic, because she had to make it on strength, on fiber. Whereas the others, they're like mannequins, but nonetheless, they're human beings. And you know what they are is they're artistic promoters, because there's a sense of style and beauty. Kylie Jenner is a very beautiful woman. I mean, she's as beautiful as it gets. And that's why women want to be like her. Men dare to dream to have her, but it's like she's aloof, she's distant, she's unapproachable up on that ivory tower where she has Mars and Libra conjunct her midheaven, the highest point in the chart. So she exudes the quality of class. You know who is, she also reminds me of Priscilla Presley.
Oh yeah, that's another one, definitely.
Libra, and Libras are co-ruled by Saturn, which rules Capricorn rising. And so Libras can be very aristocratic. You got Angie Dickinson, Julie Andrews, who's actually more like the lightweight. The heavyweight would be more like, the French actress. Oh, I'll lose my mind for a moment. But they're like icy purity. And they're like an ice-cold glass of champagne. And so, the thing about Capricorns, they're the most passionate of all signs. They do things in bed you can't dream of. At least that's what I've heard. But they're also the coldest and the most puritanical, uptight. They're the goat with the fish's tail. The goat is like Elvis Presley, not a hair out of place, but the fish's tail is his pelvis gyrating, because he's got lacquered hairdo. And he's very conservative, Elvis Presley, classic Capricorn. I have Kevin Costner on The Untouchables. Robert Stack, who I had the pleasure of doing a brief reading for, was a star of The Untouchables. Very uptight people, but strong. And so you got to look at the rising sign, not just the sun sign, when you try to understand people, particularly in the case of Kylie, who has sun in the 8th house, which is the house of essential environment. It's the 3 o'clock position, halfway between noon and sunset. So she's halfway between heaven and earth. Nobody will ever know Kylie. Kylie is a cipher. She's a mystery. You can never know her. She's like an embodiment. I wouldn't even say brand. She's an embodiment of goddess beauty and charm and manners and irreproachable, ineluctable class. And so she's going to become more and more successful all the time. She's actually an introvert, acting like an extrovert sometimes, but introverts are more attractive than extroverts. Actually, they're aloof. It's like you dream about getting them into bed because you probably can't. And so that's the way it is with her. And she's got very introverted qualities. She's very interior, very ineluctable. Moon in Scorpio, very serious. I don't think anybody knows who Kylie is. I think she is a force that connects with people. That's the 8th house, that takes them somewhere and is classy. But she, for example, had a marriage and raised some children with, as I recall, with Travis Scott, who's a Taurus. Normally Leos and Tauruses don't connect, but she needed somebody down to earth. I get a feeling like most Tauruses, Travis is probably and I want to look at him more, but Travis is kind of the guy, like, while you're up, give me a piece of pizza and a beer. I'm hanging with my homies, we're watching the game, so he's down to earth. He's tactile. He gets things done. He's physical. He likes his possessions. He's a physical lover. Whereas she is like, on a pedestal, kind of like, you may worship me, you lucky love slave, but maybe now and then.
More like a trophy?
Like a what?
A trophy.
Yeah, a trophy. But you know what? The harder the shell, the sweeter the meat. She's probably pretty wild too, now and then. Capricorn is the most passionate of signs and the most uptight. That's the mystery about them. They can be a saint in the boardroom and a wildcat in the bedroom. Yeah.
So if she was sitting in front of you right now going forward, what would you tell her? What advice would you give?
I like the picture. I would tell her Number one, can I have your autograph?
You're gonna have the most autographs out of anyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the most autographs of any astrologer in town. And
Yeah.
then I'd say number two, you're not just beautiful. You exude class. You're the class. You're the class of the class. You're beyond a goddess, and she'd like that because it's true. And then I'd say, by the way, spare change? No, I wouldn't say that. I would say, what does everybody else say when they talk to her? They're going to say, oh, I got this big deal. I want you to endorse this. Can we cross link? And she'll say, forget it. The clothes you're wearing, or no, she wouldn't say that. She'd say, you got to talk to my people. And if you pass their test, and nice to meet you. And she'd cruise on as quickly as she could, because everybody wants her money, and that's Capricorn. You ever wonder why people can be worth, like in her case, $1 billion, and they don't give it all away, like most of us would do, or get chiseled out of it? Because the more they make, the more they want. It's never enough. It's like an adding machine, because they're really kind of serious people, Capricorns, Capricorn risings, even though she has Sun in Leo, she's more Capricorn. So, they're serious people, and it's like Bob Cratchit or actually Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. They're always counting their levels of achievement. They never have enough trophies. They never have enough money. They never have enough Bentleys. They never have enough whatever it is they collect. But you see, what they really want, they want their opposite sign, the sign Cancer. They want somebody who will love them for who they are.
Right.
And so ultimately I would say, I get the impression that you're not just a brand and not just a superstar and not just a goddess, but you seem like a really nice person.
So
that would reach her.
So what do we determine? Real person or a brand?
Real person, like Pinocchio, who's coming out of being a brand, and the whole rest of her life will be thawing out her heart, her childhood, her sweetness, she's already very active in charity, her personal connection and her love. And that will be the greatest lesson of her life, like it is all of ours, love.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Joseph. That pretty much breaks down Kylie Jenner. Another episode of The All Knowing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Joseph, again, for a brilliant breakdown of this person. So she is a real person that can be branded, which is actually going on right now. So thank you, Joseph. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And until next time, take care.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Johnny.